That was really cool until we went on a cruise for a job for Carnival.
Okay.
And
like Carnival, the cruise company?
Yeah, the cruise company.
Sorry.
And it was the advertising for Carnival.
Okay.
It became a shit show.
No.
A shit show. Shit show. We were almost like stranded there because my agent had not purchased anybody's ticket to get out of there. No, we were.
Where did you go?
We're in Mexico. So, we're in Cozumel.
Did they take you on the? You flew there? They took the boat? No.
They flew us there.
Yeah.
No, we actually flew to Miami.
Yeah.
Got on the cruise. And I think we were on the cruise for like 10 days. Like we were in the cruise for 10 days. And at first they're like, well, can we at least go out on the islands every once in a while? I mean, are we going to be locked up on this cruise ship the whole time? I need to get out. I need to see land. You know, so they would give us like an hour. We were like slaves there. Like it was crazy, like imprisoned, you know? And everybody was like, what's going on here? And I'm talking to my agent who was the producer. He became the producer, agent, like everything at once. And I started to feel like there was something off and shady. And I don't like shady, you know, and I don't like to be lied to. I already said that. And that trust that I had in him, it became clear that I was losing it. And I was like, I don't know, like what's going on here? So what happened? Look how things happen in life. The stylist in that cruise ship, he was at Cloutier. He was at Cloutier agency.
Oh, wow, already.
Okay. When we're done, that whole trip became a nightmare. And we were like stranded in Miami. And we didn't even know if we were going to make it home, if we were going to have to buy our own tickets. It was crazy. I'm telling you. But one thing I knew.
I cannot believe this. No. It's unreal.
One thing I knew. Yeah. No, but everybody stopped talking to him. Everybody.
Did you know at the end of the 10 days or before? It's like while you were on the trip, you kind of figured something was happening.
During the trip, I figured something was happening, but I was thinking, well, he's not going to do it to me because he's my friend and he's my agent. But be careful with people, you know, because if you see somebody doing things to other people, they'll do it to you. So be careful. And I was thinking that, and he did it to me. I was stranded there with the other people too, you know, trying to make it back to California, to Los Angeles.
Hello, everybody. What's going on? Welcome to It Takes a Village to Raise an Entrepreneur. I'm your host, Delina Medhin, and on this show, we talk to creative entrepreneurs about industry business strategy. So today, we are talking to Carola Gonzalez. Carola is an incredible celebrity makeup artist, and I just got to read you this bio because it is amazing. She's based in Los Angeles. She is originally from Puerto Rico. And she is currently an artist in residence for Bobbi Brown. Her celebrity clientele includes Kerry Washington, Michael B. Jordan, Adria Arjona, Simone, Simon Cowell. Once I had an accent, I was like, wait a second. Her work has appeared in and on the covers of top publications like W Magazine, Marie Claire, Glamour, InStyle. She's also worked with Patrick Demarchelier, Bruce Weber, Annie Leibovitz, and Carola was honored with an award at the Hollywood Beauty Awards in 2018. She's been a beauty ambassador with Neutrogena North America, a Chanel makeup artist for Latin America, and collaborated with various brands including Lancôme, Glossier, and Hourglass. She's also worked on campaigns for brands Givenchy, Coach, Movado, L'Oreal, American Crew, Neutrogena, Apple, and Nike. Carola is a G. She's been around for a really long time. She started her career in LA at 27 years old. We talk about how she just celebrated her 50th birthday, and she's done so much, but what I think you'll really gravitate towards, or I hope you gravitate towards, is what I gravitated towards, which is her confidence. It comes through in the way that she talks about what she's doing. She's gonna show up who she is, and she wants other people to be who they are, and allowing who's meant to be your client is really a big part of the message. The other thing is she talks about getting social media, like going from the industry not having social media to having social media, and how she adjusted. When Carola and I met for the first time, we actually met in Atlanta. We were both working on a press tour, and she is exactly the same person online as she is in person, and that authenticity is something that I was just incredibly drawn to. The other things that you'll hear in this episode is conversation about agency. So finding an agent as an artist is one of the most important decisions you make, and making sure that that agent is aligned with you in what you want, in who you want to become, in where you're going in your career is all really, really, really important. And she talks about being okay to leave a situation if you feel like it's not serving you. We talk about so much. She is really, really funny. And I like that she's funny in a way that's like accidental funny, where it's like you're not exactly expecting things to be funny, but it's the way that she tells the story that just makes you laugh. So it's a really good feel-good episode. We get into the nitty-gritty of being a celebrity makeup artist and how you need to show up in order to maintain clients, but also being able to be authentic and to be yourself and to trust that everything is going to work out. Oh, the other thing that I thought was really cool is how much she prioritizes her health, taking care of her body, exercising, working out, eating a certain way. Like those types of things I believe are really important. If you're looking to be a high performer, you have to think about holistically your life. And she talks about why that's so important to her and how she creates the discipline around that. So with that being said, let's get into the episode. How long have you been actually doing makeup?
I've been doing makeup for like 21 years.
Okay. Because I know you started modeling.
Yeah, I started modeling.
Yeah.
And when I was modeling, they would do my makeup. And I didn't understand like how the hell did I look worse when I put my makeup on than when I walked in without makeup.
Yeah.
And they would just, pick colors. Like, let's say like a silver eyeshadow was the trend. They would put silver eyeshadow on me, whether it flattered me or complimented me or not. A lot of the times it didn't. Then I had big lips and they would make them bigger. So why you want to make my lips bigger? They're already big.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just didn't feel pretty. I didn't feel beautiful to stand in front of a camera. So that was always in my head. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to change this. I'm going to take charge. And I'm going to buy Kevin Aquan's Making Faces book. And that was my teacher. I became a makeup artist because of that book. Everything that I know about makeup is from that book. Because at that time, we didn't have YouTube. We didn't have tutorials. Nothing, And when I opened that book, surprisingly, it was like reading a cookbook. And I'm a good cook as well.
Oh, okay.
So
I didn't know that.
For me, like I was able to follow it. I got it. Weirdly, because I've never been a person to wear a lot of makeup. Yeah. And not in a million years would you have asked me when I was young, like, what do you want to do? I would have never been like, oh, I want to be a makeup artist. I didn't know what I wanted to be at 18. I went to college because that's what we were supposed to do. Right. But even in college, I was like, I don't know what I want to do.
What did you major in?
I majored in drama and graphic design. Okay. And I graduated from college, and then I moved to Miami, and that's where I got into the modeling, and that's what led me to makeup, because then I learned how to do my makeup, come camera ready. Mm-hmm. I was like, this is not gonna happen to me. I'm gonna feel beautiful, and you know what? From being in front of the camera and behind the camera, I can tell you that taught me that when you stand in front of the camera, you have to feel beautiful.
Yes.
So when I work on my clients, my goal is like they feel like $1 million, that they look at themselves in the mirror and they're like, and I see that face, that changes, that lightens up because they feel good.
Yeah.
Because you have to feel good.
Absolutely.
It's very hard to be in front of the camera feeling ugly or unattractive. And even when I was modeling, I never thought that I was going to become a makeup artist. I became a makeup artist at 27, 28. So I started late. Mm-hmm. And it's also because it fell on my lap. because when I did my makeup, the makeup artists from the jobs were like, Carola, you're so good at doing your makeup. You should become a makeup artist. And for me, that was like, what? What about the foundation and the shades? You know, that's like chemistry for me. Like, I don't know how to do that. And weirdly enough, honestly, when I do makeup, my passion is skin. Yeah. Weirdly enough, that's where I spend most of my time working on. I want your skin to look healthy, youthful, in the most natural way. You know, I don't want it to look cakey. And it's very strange because I thought that was going to be the hardest thing for me to learn or to do. And maybe that was the one reason why I might have not, I was afraid of makeup or becoming a makeup artist. And then that became like my number one passion. Like when I work, like the one thing that I work on every client that I have is make that skin look flawless.
It does look flawless.
You know?
I agree. That's very much your signature. I can tell by the way the skin's done because it's like there's shape, there's contour. You can see that, but it's not over. It looks like it could just be their skin, not like you're focused on the foundation. You're just like, wow, they have great skin. Yeah. Yeah.
Even one of my clients, when she was pregnant, like she had cystic acne. Horrible.
Wow.
And I was like, oh my God, what happened here? I swear, one day I showed up and all of a sudden it was like, boom, acne. And I'm like, oh my God.
Pearls.
And yeah, I was like, oh my God. And then all of a sudden, I don't know how I did it, but I made her look like she had no acne and her skin, and not by looking like I had put a lot of makeup, you know, and nobody noticed. That person went through her pregnancy and nobody noticed how bad her acne was. Nobody.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I managed to keep it natural while also concealing the acne.
How do you balance the red carpet, the TV film, and the social media? It's a lot.
It's a lot.
And you're like doing it at the highest level in all of them.
Honestly, I feel I could do more for my Instagram. But the thing is, and I know this might sound horrible, but like I said, I want to create a balance. And a lot of the times I work so much. You know, I work pretty much like 5 days a week. Sometimes I go 12 days working straight. You know, I don't have, it's not a set schedule. And then you have to take what comes because you don't know when your next job is going to be. Even though I have very stable clients, you kind of stay in that mentality of like, you know, you don't say no. Right. But then sometimes you're like, no, I have to say no because I have to take care of myself because I'm exhausted. So if I am exhausted, I cannot be creative and I have to take time for myself. So creating that balance is very challenging, and it has been challenging for me. And now I have a boyfriend and I'm a part-time stepmom. So now adding that into my life is like, how am I gonna do all this? And I still battle every morning on how to create a balance. But I guess it's about prioritizing. And some days I take it off and I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna do this today. I need time for myself. And then other days I wake up and I'm very inspired, and then that's when I do things. I do things when I want to do them, when I feel like I'm going to do them, because I'm a very transparent person. So when I don't want to do something, you'll see it. You know, you'll feel my energy.
Yeah.
So I always have everything in mind and what I want to do, but I do it when my body tells me, okay, let's do it. Or my brain tells me, okay, you're ready for this.
Yeah.
But I try to not force myself to do things that I don't want to do because the energy is not there.
Yeah.
And that's exactly how it's going to come out.
Okay, you said something too about how your gut is your brain when you walked in. And I want to talk about that because I think that you knowing when to stop, when to go is directly connected to that. How do you incorporate that? Because it's not just you doing your career at a high level, you're also focused on fitness and focused on like eating a certain way. How do you, like, that's discipline at the highest level.
I'm a very disciplined person.
Are you?
Very. I've always been very disciplined.
From birth.
I'm very organized. I have it all in my mind. It's like I have a to-do list in my head, and I just go check, check, check. And that's how I operate. That's how my mind operates. You know, so I just did a detox, and it was very time consuming because I had to cook all my meals. And out of those 21 days, I worked 16. And some of those call times were at 5 and 6 a.m. So I was waking up at 3:30, 4 o'clock to prepare my meal because that's how committed I was to my detox.
Wow.
And I think it's all about commitment. When you commit to something, you just do it. But you have to be ready to be committed. Because until you're not ready, you're not going to do it. So it takes commitment. And I'm a very committed person. When I say I'm going to do something, there's no stopping me. And I'll do whatever it takes to get to where I need to get. When I'm committed.
Yeah.
That's not always.
Yeah.
But when I commit 150%. And my mental well-being is so important for me, especially in this business, because we are surrounded by so many different energies, and we absorb those energies. And I'm surrounded by so many people all the time. And sometimes I'm drained. People think that our jobs are like, oh, you're doing makeup. Yeah, I'm doing makeup, but I'm also managing personalities. I'm also the psychologist of some people. I'm almost, I have to bring good energy because one time I heard Oprah say, you're responsible for the energy that you bring in every room that you walk in. And that's true. So that always stayed in my mind. So every time that I go to a job or anywhere I go, I really check on my energy because I'm a positive person and I want to bring that joy and that positiveness into the room. So it takes a lot. You're just not a makeup artist. You have to bring the energy. You have to bring your talent. You have to also be able to read people. That's something that is very important. And that's something that I've seen a lot in this business, that there's people that don't know how to read a room or energy, Yeah. I don't know if they last a long time because that's kind of something
that's the job.
That's really the job.
It's really I feel like makeup is this much of it. But the reality is it's can you connect with a human being?
Yeah.
Can you prioritize what they need? Can you perceive what they need?
Yeah, and everybody's different.
Yeah.
Everybody's different.
Do you think people can learn that, or you think it's kind of like something you're born with? I feel like it might be something you're born with.
I mean,
I know I want to have hope, but it's I don't know.
I don't know if you can learn it.
Right?
It's like people that don't have common sense. Are they ever going to learn? I don't know. I mean,
yeah.
And I bump into those people a lot, So it's how can people not have common sense? But there are a lot of people that don't. So, yeah, I think you have to be a combo. It's a combo. You have to have a combo of qualities to be a successful person in this business.
Yeah.
It's not just your talent. It's a lot of other elements that play also in the person that you are and how you do professionally.
At this point, you already know what you need to put in your kit.
So I've always been an athlete. I played volleyball when I was in high school.
Okay.
I played basketball. I was on the swim team. So I've always been a very active person and I love sports. So it's something that has always been part of my life. And I feel that, that's how I release my stress. That's my go-to to release my stress. And if I don't exercise, I go crazy.
Yeah.
It's something I have to do. It's something that I'm going to do for the rest of my life. And I also feel I've found the people that are around me that have always exercised, they're the ones that last the longest.
That is so true.
It is. So you have to keep yourself active. Even if it's walking, just keep yourself active. You need to keep that body going because honestly, it's going to give you longevity in the long run. It's going to help you with your bones. It's going to help you with your flexibility. It's going to help you, mentally. It's going to help you in so many ways, and exercise is not just I don't want people to look at exercise I don't want people to look at exercise to lose weight. That's not why you exercise. You exercise for all the benefits that it gives you, health-wise, mentally. And so yeah, exercise is a big part of my life, and I'm gonna continue doing it until I'm old. I don't see myself ever stopping. I've gotten older, so there's certain things that I can't do because my joints. I need WD-40 sometimes. But you adapt. We're all humans, and humans adapt. And I adapted that I cannot do high impact. I can no longer do high impact. I used to be a runner, and and I can't run anymore. But that doesn't mean that I need to stop. So now I find other things. Then I got into boxing at some point, which I loved. I actually feel like I want to get back to that.
Yeah, I remember you posting about
that. I loved it so much. I loved it. I had just gone through a breakup, and my friend was like, "You need to go to boxing." I'm like, "Boxing? I don't know how to box." and then I did it, and it changed my life. I loved it. You know, I want to get back to it. But so yeah, again, detox, exercises, work, all of that. You have to find the time, make the time. And it's how bad you want it. You're going to make the time depending on how bad you want it.
Do you schedule it in the beginning of the week?
Yes.
Okay. So you look at your week and you go, okay, I can fit it in here, 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 here.
Yeah. And if I have to wake up earlier, I do it. You know, it's about the important things in your life. Prioritizing the important things in your life and the things that make you feel good. Because I find... And listen, for me, it's exercising. Maybe for somebody else, it's reading a book. Yeah. You know, take that time for yourself to give yourself a treat or something for you. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter what it is. Find a hobby that gives you that joy or gives you something that you're not getting from everything that you're in your life or from your work or from this. We need those hobbies, you know, that give us peace, you know, or give us joy. So it's about finding that thing that makes you happy. And take that time from your schedule to give that to yourself. Yeah. So I really believe in all of that.
When it comes to like making yourself feel good and happy, do you feel like you have a lot of choice in who you work with? Are you very specific about that too in terms of relationships and connections?
It's funny because I've been in this business. I've been in California for 20 years.
Okay.
So
straight from Miami.
Straight from Miami. Yeah.
Okay.
I started there, but I was like, I want to go and work with celebrities. I used to look at Us Weekly magazine. Yeah. And then I would read like, oh, you know, so-and-so's makeup artist says that. And I was like, no, I want to be in that magazine. I want somebody to say,
yeah, that's
Carola Gonzalez did so-and-so's makeup and is doing this. And I was like, you know, I'm moving to Hollywood. And my friends were like, not my friends, but the agent that I had there, she's like, you have no celebrities in your book. You're going nowhere. And for me to say no to me, it's like, oh, really? Watch me.
Wow. Wait, an agent here?
No, an agent in Miami.
Oh, wow.
She's like, you have no celebrities. You're never going to make it there. And I was like, okay, bye. And I got on a plane. And it took me at least 3 years, you know, to hustle, to meet photographers, to get, you know, I was out almost every night meeting people because I didn't know one single soul here. Except, well, just one person. The person that I slept in his couch because I had no money. I was broke in a new city and following my dream. And it took me 3 years to knock on doors, you know, to meet people. And it was a complete different world to what we have nowadays, you know, because at that time we didn't have social media. So it was more about physical work, you know, going out there, meeting people, saying yes to every invitation that I got because you never know who you could meet, you know, or a connection, you know, trying to find an agent here, you know, it was crazy. But I believed in myself. And I don't take no for an answer. Like, I don't take no for answer. I mean, sometimes I do.
Right.
There's times that you can push and push and push. And if it's no, it's no.
You're like, okay, I get
it. I get it. Yeah. But I challenge myself. And I believe in myself. I don't see obstacles. That's
good.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't put obstacles in my head. I go for what I want. And then when the obstacles come, I deal with it, and then I push them aside. But I keep going forward. Oh, I look forward.
Yeah.
You know.
So relationship building for you started when you first got here, and you were like, okay, I'm gonna meet a bunch of people. Are you an extrovert? Do you think you're extroverted?
What is
like? Do you thrive in doing that, or do you get tired from that? Because I know you said, you know, sometimes you need to have time for you, but do you feel like you thrive in environments with like a lot of people around, or do you prefer? Okay, no. I'm the same. I would rather be home.
Yeah,
you too.
I'm a homebody.
Okay, yeah, I'd rather be home.
I do it when I have to. I mean, we
gotta do what we gotta do.
Yeah, I gotta do it. Exactly. I gotta do what I gotta do. But I'm like, bye. You know, when I'm
Same.
bye, I go home and that's my happy place.
Okay, yeah. So that's the work too, because when you have to go out and physically meet people and you're not the kind of person who's like, oh, I want to go to the next party and the next party. That's draining.
But I'm talking like 20 years ago.
Okay. So you had more energy.
I had so much energy.
Okay.
But I was, you know, when you're in a new city,
Okay.
you're like, you want to explore and you want to go out there and meet people. You know, it's like exciting.
Okay.
When everything is new, you know, and I partied back in the day. Like there were like, you know, at least my first 10 years here, 15 years, I was like, woo, partying. Now you invite me to any party, I'm like, no.
I'm okay.
It's very hard for me to, at this point in my life, to want to go out and socialize.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
But I still do it. But I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care.
I don't care either. But you know what though? I didn't care. I didn't even care like 10 years ago. I feel like I feel like I'm you now. Like, you know, the whole time. I think it's good that social media exists because I feel like I can build, like you said, I can build these relationships online. And it feels so, you know, it feels so connected. Like even when we met, you know, we met when we were in Atlanta. Yeah, exactly. We were in Atlanta, and I was like, Carola, and it felt like I knew you because we had spoken so much.
Yeah.
And then it was just, I was like, oh, you know, you don't even think about the time period because I started like right before social media really took off. So I didn't even know that there was a possibility that you could be a working makeup artist aside from working at a counter. Did you ever work at a counter?
No.
Okay. So you just went right in.
I went right in.
Wow.
I didn't assist anybody.
What?
No.
Carola.
Well, I assisted.
That is wild.
I assisted here and there, like some people that needed assistance in the beginning, but I was never an assistant, you know, under anybody. That's you know what I'm saying? That then, because I know a lot of people start their careers as assistants and then they branch out on their own. Mm-hmm. But I never did that. You know, I was self-taught.
Yeah.
And
you're meant to be an artist.
Yeah, and I didn't even know I had this gift. I didn't know. I didn't know. And I never went to school. Never went to school or anything.
Do you have assistants now?
I have a few assistants. My work really is like usually like one-on-one.
Yeah.
So I don't really bring assistants unless I need them. But I have a few assistants that when I need them, they come with me. But I'm more of a one-on-one person because there's no need to, I mean, nowadays it's different. I mean, if I had an assistant with me all the time, which maybe I should consider it, it would make my life so much easier. But also because of COVID, you know, it makes it hard because there's certain clients that don't want to have your assistant around.
That's true.
So COVID made it, before COVID, I think that the assistant thing was more like acceptable. You know, it was like, okay, you have your assistant, you can bring them to your jobs, you know, but now with the COVID testing and the COVID period.
The COVID.
The COVID.
Yeah.
It's just not as, you know, there's limitations.
Yeah.
Now that didn't exist before.
And then also privacy.
And privacy.
I think when you're working with a certain type of client, the expectation is it's like whoever doesn't need to be in the room doesn't need to be in the room.
Yes, and my clients, I've been with my clients for a very long time, like period. Like my clients, pretty much all my clients I've had for like 17, 10, 11, 12 years. You know, my clients, they stick to me.
Yeah.
Which I'm very lucky. Because in this business, loyalty doesn't really exist, you know? And even clients that I worked in the past, you know, but they're not in my like regular schedule. I still work with them. You know, they still call me here and there, and then I go and see them. I'm like, hey, what's up? You know, I'm always happy to see everybody. You know, you don't have to always be everybody's number one. And that's something that I feel like people are like, you're going to have your number ones, but you're also going to be number twos of other people. Or number 3, you know, so you cannot take it personally. You just have to know, like, you know, when you're not always available for someone, that's when they're going to move on to somebody because they want somebody that is available for them all the time. So I have to be loyal to the ones that have been there from the beginning. So it's very hard for me sometimes to get new clients because my clients are so loyal that my agent is like, I'm like, well, I want to work with so-and-so. Like, why don't I get new clients? And he's like, okay, well, who do you want to drop? And I'm like, well, I cannot drop my clients. They've been with me for so long. He goes, yeah, but Carola, the problem is that because of that, you don't have really time to establish a new relationship with anybody. And then you're not going to be available for that person. And then that person's going to move on. And then you're going to be frustrated because you don't know what happened. But what happens is that you don't have time to develop really a relationship with somebody new unless you let go unless you let go of one of your clients or some of your clients. You really are not in that position. And he's like, and this is a great position to be at, Carola. You know, you work all the time. And it is. But you also want more.
Yeah, of course.
You know, so that has been a challenge for me in my career because even though I want to work with other people, like I don't always have the time to invest on a new person. So then they move on. Like I get the introduction and they like me and then I'm there and then I'm not there and then they're gone. You know, so this is something that happens in the business. So, but I always let them know, or I always let my agent know, like, you know, please reach out to them and tell them that I really love working with them. And, you know, and if they ever need me to call me, that I'll be more than happy. And sometimes, like I said, I'm a second or I'm a third. And that's fine. You know, you can't be everybody's number one. And you just have to make peace with it.
How did you find your agent? Because it sounds like you have like a really, really good relationship.
I have the best relationship with my agent, but I'm the kind of person that not only with him, but with everybody that works around me, I make it a point to have a relationship with, because I want that person to love me, to care about me, and to want the best for me, that we can work as a team, that we're not strangers or just like making a business deal. My agent and everybody that works around me, you know, I have an amazing relationship with them. And also I make it a point to be transparent with each other. It's very important. When I don't like something, I need to say it. And you can say whatever you want to whoever you want, is how you say it. So communication is very important in every aspect of your life. And I really work hard to have that amazing communication with my agent and the people around me, because I don't ever want to keep anything inside. And when I don't like something, it needs to be fixed, because then I'll have a knot in my stomach, and I can't live with a knot in my stomach. And I also feel like you don't want to keep that energy bottled up inside of you. You need to release it. So I always find, you know, I always find the way where my emotions are not involved. And even if I have to take time off for something that bothered me, or I was for something that bothered me or I was upset about, I take the time, I look inward, I see why am I upset, I go through my emotions, I process them, and then when my emotions are not involved, then I can go and talk to the person and be like, hey, you know, like this, you know, I really didn't like this, what happened? Or can we talk about this? How can we make it better? I'm always about finding solutions.
That's great. You do that with your agent and with your clients?
Yeah, everybody.
That's great.
Everybody. So
transparency is also, I think, the key as to why you have these long relationships. Because I think that, at least it's been my experience, when your clients get to a certain level, they are used to a lot of people not telling them the truth. So when you are someone who's always a truth teller, you tend to have longevity, because they go, oh, this person isn't just here because of who I am. They're here because they enjoy what they do, and they need to be respected too. They value themselves. Like you started with that. I value myself. And so it translates to all aspects of your life. That's huge.
Yeah. You can ask any client of mine. Yeah. And they'll like, if I need to look for the truth, I'll ask Carola. I swear.
I love it.
Like all my clients, they're like, Carola is the honest person here. I won't give my opinion if it's not asked for it.
Of course.
That's one thing I learned. Don't give your opinion. Just keep it to yourself. And if you're asked, then I say it. Don't volunteer information. Don't volunteer information.
How did you learn that?
I learned it the hard way. I was at a shoot, and because this business is very complex, and that's what people don't understand. So at that time, I didn't know like wardrobe stylists. They so I'm not saying all of them, and I'm not saying all the time, but sometimes they are designers that pay them for the clients to wear the clothing. So what are they going to do? They're going to push for that, whether it looks good on you or not, because they're getting a kickback. So we're at a photo shoot, and actually they do that also when you do work with magazines. There are designers there that are paying the magazine or some some advertisement or something. So they're going to push for those designer clothing. And I said, again, whether they look good on you or not, it doesn't matter. They are thinking about the money and the people that are paying for it. I didn't know that back then. But so my client was wearing this outfit, and I believe that one of those outfits were sponsored by one of the designers. That thing was going on. And I was like, you can't wear that. It doesn't look good on you. Like, you can't. And she was like, really? I said, no, I'm serious. Like, it's not flattering at all. It doesn't flatter your body. It doesn't flattering. I'm giving you my honest opinion. So when the stylist walked inside the room, she went, oh, by the way, Carola says that this doesn't look good on me.
Hey, thank you so much for watching this episode of It Takes a Village podcast. I'd like to invite you to do two things, and then I'll get you back into the episode. Number one, if you could go and leave us a 5-star review, leave us information about what you liked about the episode, and most importantly, this is something I'm going to incorporate into future episodes, is leave your questions, things that you want asked by these experts. I really want to make sure that you're getting exactly what you need to help move your business to the next level. Number two, if you can go over to ittakesavillagepod.com, that's pod.com, you can subscribe to our newsletter. So our newsletter has information about each episode coming out, show notes, details about the guest, and more. So go check that out as well. And with that, let's get back into the episode.
And I was like, what?
And you were like...
I was like, what? Is she kidding? So she flat out threw me under the bus, told the stylist that I told her that didn't look good on her, that wasn't flattering, and that she wanted to change because of what I said. And after that, I was like, you know what? Never again. Never again.
Yeah.
If you look at yourself in the mirror and you like what you see, then that's all that matters.
I'm
not going to give my opinion.
Yeah. I'm laughing because it's funny because I've had similar experiences.
Where you volunteer information?
Yeah, you volunteer information because you look, and I remember one time I had a client and she was about to wear something on camera, and it was a 360 thing, and they were like, you look fine, and like you could see underwear lines. And I was like, you can't wear underwear with that. She was like, why not? I said, do you have Spanx? Do you have whatever you have? Like, you got to change it.
Yeah, and you actually...
No, but you know what's so funny is now she didn't say anything to the person, but she goes, I can't believe they were going to do that to me, Delina. Sometimes it works out, but it's like, the thing is the person who was styling her didn't say anything to her. And I'm like, they would have been shooting you in the back and people would see it. It's almost like, it depends on the person, I feel like, with how much you can kind of say. But I feel you're like, you know what? Hey, that's not my job.
Because also it all depends on what kind of mood they're in.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're gonna get. So that's the thing. It's like walking on eggshells. You don't know what you're gonna get. So you're better off just
positive.
Don't just stay away from it. No, and if I'm asked, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
If I get asked, then I'll say what I think. But besides that, I don't know.
How is it collaborating on red carpet? Because I feel like your face is so funny. It's like you really say everything without saying it. How is it collaborating? Because I find that, how sometimes you can look at something and you're like, were people talking to each other when they put this story together? Like, is there ever a moment where you feel like you can take a lead on that? Or do you find that there's already direction when you get into it?
No, a lot of the times there's already direction. Especially, I feel like the stylists have a lot to say. The wardrobe stylists have a lot to say on the final look. We can collaborate together and we bring ideas together, but at the end of the day, pretty much is how the wardrobe stylist sees it, and that's the vision we kind of follow. I mean, I still do what I want. It's not like I give up on my ideas or my creativity, but I just find a way that my vision complements the wardrobe stylist's vision, but in my, like, with my touch, you know?
I do. Yeah, I do know. And you have a very classic style as well. So I feel like it's very elevated. So no matter what you're putting them in, whether it's, you know, Versace or, you know, Gap, it's going to look beautiful. You know, like you're going to look at the person and say, oh, wow, you look put together. You look stunning. You look good. Not just the makeup looks good. Like you look good. Maybe if they're wearing a lip, you're like, oh, wow, what lip is that? You know, at least that's how I feel.
No,
how would you like describe it? Do you think?
No, that's exactly how it feels. You know, and
that's what I enjoy, though.
I know.
I love classic and timeless makeup.
Yeah, it's my
favorite.
Yeah, and it's timeless. So
you look back at it and you're like,
yeah,
that was it. We did that.
I want the person. My kind of makeup is to look as natural as you can, like skin wise, like great skin. And then, you know, accentuate your features. You know, it's about finding the right shades that complement you. I don't think it has to do with how much it doesn't have to do with how much makeup you apply. It's about finding those like 5 lipstick shades that look amazing on you. You know, like your red, your neutrals, you know, like maybe your orange or your burgundy. Like, it's finding those 5 shades. You know, you don't need to have 10 lipsticks, but find five. Find 5 that just make you pop. Yeah. You know? Also eyeshadows, you know, it's finding the colors that complement you. Blushes, you know, it's just finding the colors that complement you because they make you pop. You know, when you're wearing something and it doesn't complement you, you look flat. If you're in doubt, don't buy it. That's how I feel.
Yeah, it's like clothes. The first time you put on a pair of pants and you're like, no. Yeah. And it's like, or you have to like move your body a little bit in it and you're like adjusting already. You already know it's a no.
And you're convincing yourself, well, you know, okay, I get, well, maybe with
I don't
that
have
top,
this color in my closet yet.
Yeah, but you're not feeling it. Well, makeup is the same. You have to feel it. And if you're not feeling it, don't buy it. You know, and that goes with every shade, whether it's blush, eyeshadow, eyeliner, lipstick, bronzer. You know, when in doubt, don't buy it. Yeah. Because you know. Yeah. You know.
Did your business sense come from, do you feel like that was natural for you to understand the business of this business? Or do you think that it came over time? How did you learn it? Because you're very savvy. I see that in the way that you work.
No, I had to figure it out. Yeah. You know, I personally, back in the day when I started, it was like you had to get a good agent, and having a good agent is like a blessing, really. And like I never answered your question before about how I found my agent or how the relationship that I had with my agent, but Spencer Spalding, he's my agent. He's at Forward, and like I said, he's transparent. We have a very transparent relationship. We care a lot for each other. I know there's care there. And I am free to express myself. And he has my back. I need somebody who has my back, where I feel safe. And he makes me feel safe. And he has my back. So therefore, that's the kind of agent I want to have. And I have it. And I'm not going anywhere without him.
I love that.
Like, when you find that person that has your back and you feel it and believes in you, they have to believe in you. And I always tell people, you can go to the best agency or that agency that you dream about, but if they don't really care, if they're not interested in you, there's no point of going there, because they're not gonna work hard for you. They're not gonna push you hard because they already don't believe in you. They're just doing you a favor. You're gonna feel like they're doing you a favor. Yes. If you go to a small agency and they're ecstatic about you and interested and excited, that's the people you want to represent you. The people that are excited about you and that believe in you. Because I've had both. I've been to agencies where they're like, yeah, okay, yeah, we'll do it. And that's exactly the experience that I got. You know? I'm like, no, this is my career. Like, I take my career seriously. You don't? Bye. Bounce.
Yes. How did you know? Because I have more questions about this. Because how did you know that they were taking it seriously? Or they weren't taking it seriously too?
Because of the kind of jobs that I was getting.
Okay.
You know, I didn't feel like they were helping me to build my book. They were giving me clients that were like, whatever. Then I was getting all these jobs that I was like, I don't want to be doing this. And I would talk to them. And then I had one agent at one point that every time that you would bring up something that you didn't want to do, it was like she would punish you. Like I would be punished. Like she wouldn't then refer me to other jobs. And you would feel it. I would feel it. And I wasn't the only artist that felt this way. Wow. So I was like, what grade are we on?
Yeah.
Like, 8th? I mean, 5th? I mean, I don't know. I was like, no.
You would do one job and you didn't like it. You told her you didn't like it, and then she would be
or
like,
if I had an issue with the call sheet or any issue that I had, any little issue I had, it was like, then I was afraid to tell her how I felt, because then she wouldn't suggest you for a job. She would leave you jobless for like 2 weeks until she got over it. You know?
That's wild.
I mean,
she was like vindictive.
Yeah, vindictive. So I was like, you know what? I can't.
Yeah.
So I spoke to the owner, because I've been in 5 agencies since I've been here.
Okay.
And I don't want to sound like I'm always bouncing.
No.
But I left every agency because I felt that they were not making me grow or guiding me in the direction that I wanted to go, or making me, or I wasn't growing in the direction that I wanted to go. So that always made me feel like I needed to go somewhere else. And until I landed to Spencer, and that Spencer is it. He's the one.
He's the one.
He's the one.
Yes.
But to get to Spencer, I had to go through bumps, you know, and it's always, like I said, when you know what you want, you have to fight for it and not settle, you know. And every agency that I left, I always spoke to them about what my needs were, where I wasn't happy. I gave them an opportunity to make it better. But the day that I left, they knew why I left. And I went in there and I left with integrity, because I wanted them to know why I left, that it wasn't personal, that it was business, and that this was my career, and that I wasn't happy, and that I couldn't stay in a place where I wasn't happy anymore, but that I appreciated everything that they did for me. And I still have relationship with all of them. And I still see them sometimes at events, my old agents. And if I want to go back to any of those agencies, the doors are open. Mm-hmm. And I believe that that's how you need to navigate in life. You know, do things with integrity, like be transparent again. When you don't like something, tell always let the person know. Mm-hmm. One thing I don't like about this business is that nobody talks. Like all of a sudden people disappear. They don't call you back. Like, it's like, why can't we just be honest with each other? You know what? If you don't want to work with me because you decide to move on, that's fine. But you know what? If we have a relationship, whether it's 5 years, 8 years, 20 years, listen, everybody in life has everybody in life has the right to move on, because we evolve. And sometimes we don't have, the person that is next to us doesn't evolve with us, because that's another part that is important about this business and in life, evolution, human evolution. We don't always evolve together. So there are times that when you're not on the same page, or you didn't evolve with that person, it's time to part, because that person needs to find somebody that they are now can connect with, because maybe that connection is broken. It's no longer there, but it used to be. And that's what happens in relationships as well. And it even happens in friendships. So you always have to have so I always feel like, I just wish that people were honest. We're honest. I can take the truth any day. I don't like when people are shady.
Same. Or when people are not upfront with you. Because you know what? If I don't do something that you like, if you tell me, I'll improve it. And if I'm still doing it and you don't like it, then okay. But give people a chance to make it better.
especially if you have an invested relationship there.
Yeah.
So that's a part of this business that really gets to me. Really gets to me. People here, you know, I don't know if they're cowards. I don't know if it's a business. I don't know what it is, but not a lot of honesty and transparency.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think there's a lot of fear.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of fear that you're not going to have money. People are worried, oh, if I say this, then, you know, it's going to be this. Or somebody's going to, if you don't say anything, then you can walk away from it and no one can say anything about you, right? They're like, oh, she never talked to me again. But that's not enough information to build something on that person.
Mm-hmm.
So I think from a protection standpoint, they do that. But you can't build real relationships like that. It's like communication.
Exactly. It is hurtful.
It's very hurtful. I agree.
It's very hurtful. And I had my share of times where I've been really hurt.
Yeah.
You know, and I didn't know what I did wrong or what happened. And I never did.
Right.
But at the same time, those punches, you know, or those, you know, when you go through those experiences in life, for me, those are the ones that make me stronger. Because one thing that you have to, I think this is one of the hardest things in life, is to not take things personally. Mm. Because at the end, it has nothing to do with you. It has to do with them or where they are in their lives. And not taking things personally is something that is very hard to do, but it's the one thing that I work on all the time. When something happens or I hear somebody, you know, one of my clients using another makeup artist or groomer or whatever, I'm not going to say that fear is not there. Like, oh, okay, well, that's weird, you know? But at the same time, it's like, who cares? You know, I know who I am as a person, and I want to be appreciated with my presence. I want it to be appreciated. And if that person's not appreciating it anymore, it's time to move on. And I cannot take it. I really work hard at not taking it personally. Mm. Because at the end of the day, it has nothing to do with me. You know, there are times where we have to make choices in life. It has nothing to do with the person. It has to do with where we are at that moment. So if we do that, why can somebody else do it? And we just have to know that we do it. Mm-hmm. And I don't like to hurt people, mm-hmm. but sometimes it's not working anymore. And you just have to let go because, like I said, I am my priority. Yeah. And it's one life. You have one life to live. So your choices are very important in your life.
Do you feel like this is applicable to friendships in the industry too? Or are you thinking more? Because when I was listening to you, I was like, I was imagining my experience with clients. But it also, I think, because, you know, sometimes with peers, right? With our peers, we have to kind of navigate that in a very specific way. People cannot like you just simply because you have a client they've been wanting to work with. And you're like, we have a relationship. What do you want me to do?
Yeah.
You know? Or, you know, you got some opportunity that they wanted to get, or you have more, you know, I don't know. You seem like you're doing better in life than they're doing. So they're just upset. You know, how do you I'm trying to figure out how to say this because I'm like,
I'm kind of understanding what you're saying.
Yeah, is it easy to make friends here in LA?
No.
Yeah.
No. My friends are Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
I have my family. And I am so lucky to have the friends that I have because they're my family. If I didn't have them, my whole experience here, I don't even know if I would be in LA, to tell you the truth. I might have quit because I go to work. There are people that I've been working with for a very long time. And I love them and I care about them and I have a good time with them when I see them. But they're not my friends. Those people are not my friends. My friends are the family that I chosen here. My family away from my family. Those are my friends. So this is my life, professional life. But I have a whole different life. Personal life with my friends. Mm-hmm. You know, I have my family. And also, which is kind of weird, but most of my clients don't really know me. And that's weird because they don't know that I can be quirky or funny or like, they really don't know my personality because when I'm around them, I have to adapt to their personalities, you know? So it's kind of sad in a way that I've been working with all these people for a long time. And I can tell you, I can't sit here and tell you that they know me because they don't.
Is that, and that's intentional.
It is intentional. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's important. I think that's what creates longevity too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I adapt.
Yeah.
To my environment. So I do have to say one client does know me.
There's one.
There's one. And it's funny because because he I'm gonna say who he is because I adore him. It's Simon Cowell.
Yeah?
Yeah. I have a great connection with him.
Yeah.
And our relationship is like actually funny and a joke. Like people look at me like, how did this girl even like dare to tell him that? Because everybody's scared around him. Except me. But I'm always joking with him, you know, and I tell him how I feel all the time. And that's why he likes me. And that's why he loves me. And he tells me, you know what, Carola? I like you because you're real. You're real. And I said, well, I'm always going to be real with you and with everybody, you know, so going back to that. But with him, it's always like in a humorous way. And I had therapy once, and this is what my therapist told me. You can say everything you want, be humorous about it. And that was a great advice because I do say what I need to say, but I always make it in a funny way. But I say it. Whether you think it's for real or not, that's on you. Yeah. But I said it. Yeah. You know?
Do they have to laugh too?
No. They can. But if they don't, as long as I said it, I got it out of my chest. That's what I care. Yeah. You know, so with Simon, like he puts me through the ringer sometimes, believe it or not, even though he's a guy. But I learned to navigate him, and it's always humorous. Yeah. You know, in a fun way.
Do you spend a lot of time in Puerto Rico?
I would love to spend more time than I spend.
I know. You have the property there that you
I have an apartment there.
Really I'm gonna 100% go.
You should.
It looks so beautiful.
You're gonna love it.
Yeah?
You're gonna love it. It's my piece of heaven.
Yeah?
Yeah, and I go there and it's like, I don't know. I went to Tulum. Have you been to Tulum?
I have. I do love Tulum.
I love Tulum.
Yeah.
So I wanted to bring Tulum to Puerto Rico.
Okay.
That was my vibe.
Okay.
You know, like that's why I did the cream concrete floor. Everything is all like beiges and, you know, creams and, you know, like sand shades, you know, it's very soothing. And when you open those windows and you see the ocean and the palm trees, that's like, I'm home.
Yeah.
And I can spend hours in that apartment and I don't ever want to leave. I swear it's very weird. It's the one place that I go to that gives me like true peace and serenity. And that's what I wanted. And then if I want to go down to the beach, I go down to the beach. I walk it every morning. I need it. It's my, like I said, my happy place and my peaceful place. And I get to see my family. But I wish I went more. I want to be able to go and spend a whole month there.
Yeah. Okay. So you go in. You come. What's the longest?
Well, when I turned 50, I was like,
I remember that you were like, I'm 50. Y'all can't tell me nothing. Like I remember that post.
No, I was like, I was like, no, I'm gonna take care of me.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna go away for a month.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be about me. And if I lose any clients, well, then they were never my clients.
That's real.
And you have to get to that mentality of not being afraid of taking time for yourself because you're afraid to lose a client. If you lose a client, then they were never your client. Because your true clients will understand that you also have a life, you know, and that you need to take time off. And if they don't understand that, then they're not the kind of client I want to have. Because I don't want to be afraid of taking time off because I'm going to lose or miss out on something.
Yeah.
I mean, it has happened. I've lost clients because of that. But then when I come back, I'm like, well, that it hurt, yeah. But then I think, well, I don't want to have that person as my client because then I'm always going to be afraid to tell them that I'm going away. And I don't want to live like that. Absolutely. I don't want to live like that. I don't want to live in fear. And decisions are made out of love or fear. That's how you make decisions.
Yeah, that's good.
You know, all your decisions are based on love or fear. And then when they are fear-based, that's not good.
Yeah.
And I don't want to make decisions based on fear.
That's not being in your power.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I trust life. Listen, I'm a big believer in manifestation. I'm a big believer in putting what you want out there and verbalize it, vocalize it, say it, think it, you know, talk about it. It comes true.
Yeah,
it comes true. Because I can tell you so many times, like I remember when I first started doing makeup, I went to Paulina Rubio's concert and I was there dancing and singing to her songs. And I was like, oh, I would love to work with that. I remember thinking about it. I would love to work with her. She's so cool. Soon enough, I was at the gym. A friend of mine became her manager and I got to work with her.
Wow.
And she was my first celebrity ever that I worked with. And I was at her concert, dreaming and wishing.
Did you have an agent yet? Or this is pre-agent? Wow.
Pre-agent.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to get an agent when you first got here?
Well, when I first got here, luckily, there was this makeup artist, Maytal, that she was a makeup artist, but she started her own agency. So the way that she did it was she had her own clients, but it was like almost like an assistant thing, you know, where when she couldn't do a job, she would give it to an artist. Okay. And then she would take a percentage of a commission from your check.
Okay.
But that was her client. It wasn't your client. You know, so she had a lot of clients, but she couldn't do them all. So then she started to find this artist that were starting, and then she gave them those clients to them, and she kept rotating. But at that point, I was never going to grow.
Right,
because at the end, those were her clients.
Right.
So then I wanted to be at Cloutier because Cloutier was the agency at that time.
Oh, yeah.
It was the agency.
Yeah.
You know, back when I moved here, you know, early 2000s. Yeah, like early 2000, Cloutier was like, wow.
Okay.
And I wanted to be with Cloutier. So I went to Cloutier and they said no. And I was like, okay, well, I guess it's not my time. So then I ended up going to I ended up leaving Maytal and I went with a photographer agent because he was giving me, because I met him at a photo shoot and he loved me and him and I became really good friends. And then he's like, I'll represent you and I'll get you to work with all my photographers. I'm like, okay. So then I got in with him, but he was not a makeup artist agent. He was a photographer agent, but he wanted to represent me. So he got me in with all his
That's perfect.
Yeah, his photographers.
What a great entry.
I know.
Yeah.
So that was really cool until we went on a cruise for a job for Carnival.
Okay.
And
like Carnival, the cruise company?
Yeah, the cruise company.
Sorry.
And it was the advertising for Carnival.
Okay.
It became a shit show.
No.
A shit show. Shit show. We were almost like stranded there because my agent had not purchased anybody's ticket to get out of there. No, we were.
Where did you go?
Where? Mexico. So, we're in Cozumel.
Did they take you on the? You flew there? They took the boat? No.
They flew us there.
Yeah.
No, we actually flew to Miami.
Yeah.
Got on the cruise. And I think we were on the cruise for like 10 days. Like we were in the cruise for 10 days. And at first they're like, well, can we at least go out on the islands every once in a while? I mean, are we going to be locked up on this cruise ship the whole time? I need to get out. I need to see land. You know, so like they would give us like an hour. We were like slaves there. Like it was crazy, like imprisoned, you know? And everybody was like, what's going on here? And I'm talking to my agent who was the producer. He became the producer, agent, like everything at once. And I started to feel like there was something off and shady. And I don't like shady, you know, and I don't like to be lied to. I already said that. And that trust that I had in him, it became clear that I was losing it. And I was like, I don't know, like, what's going on here? So what happened? Look how things happen in life. The stylist in that cruise ship, he was at Cloutier. He was at Cloutier agency.
Oh, wow, already. Okay.
When we're done, that whole trip became a nightmare. And we were like stranded in Miami, and we didn't even know if we were gonna make it home, if we were gonna have to buy our own tickets. It was crazy. I was telling you. But one thing I knew,
cannot believe this.
No,
it's unreal.
One thing I knew, everybody stopped talking to him. Everybody.
Did you know at the end of the 10 days or before? It's like while you were on the trip, you kind of figured something was happening.
During the trip, I figured something was happening, but I was thinking, well, he's not going to do it to me because he's my friend and he's my agent. But be careful with people, because if you see somebody doing things to other people, they'll do it to you. So be careful. And I was thinking that, and he did it to me. I was stranded there with the other people too. Trying to make it back to California, to Los Angeles. It was crazy. So what happened was that Danny, who was a wardrobe stylist, came back and called his agent, Jill, and was like, Jill, you need to represent this girl, Carola. I love her. She's a great makeup artist, and you need to represent her. And because there was something that had happened with Jill and my ex-agent, the photographer agent. She already had like a little, how do you call it?
Like a thing. They had something.
Yeah, there was something there. Like
tension.
Tension.
Yeah.
She's like, I want to talk to her.
Okay.
And I came in, and I know that she represented me because she wanted to get back at him. But she did. And I got in with Cloutier.
Wow.
But so, like I said, whatever you want in life, you put it out there. Yeah. You might not get it when you want it, but it will come to you if you really want it bad enough. So I got in with Cloutier, not when I wanted it, but it came, full circle. Yeah. And I ended up there.
Just because you're a social media girl. Okay, tell me more. Tell me everything.
So, I'm an OG.
Yeah.
I don't come from social media. I thought that where, as a makeup artist, I was like, okay, there's going to be a place, I'm going to come to a place where I'm going to be like, I made it, that I'm satisfied. So when that time came, I was like, cool. Like I have my clients, I'm in a good place or like where I wanted to be.
Yeah. And
then social media came. And then all these influencers.
Wait, hold on. I got to interrupt you for a second. How did you know you were where you wanted to be? Like, what was, I feel like I've made it.
Where I felt like I had established clients. Yeah. I was working all the time. I did the L'Oreal campaign. I was doing campaigns, like I was full on working all the time. For me, that was like, and I had great clients and I was happy. I was satisfied with my career. And I was, I had gotten to the place where I had envisioned myself getting to.
Okay. Did you have financial goals within that too? Were you like, okay, I need to make sure that I'm at this place? Okay. It was more of, this is what I imagine my life to look like.
Yes.
Okay.
Not financially.
I
mean, I want to make money.
Of course.
But
yeah,
it wasn't like, well, I want to make like $300,000 a year. No, that was, I never thought about it like that. It was more of how I felt. That's how I go through in life, how I feel. How I feel where I'm at in my life at the moment. And then all of a sudden, Instagram came. I mean, there was YouTube also. And then the influencers. And I was like, oh my God, like, no, I'm going to have another job. Like, I'm going to have to add to this. And I was like ready to relax. I was like, oh God, I worked hard. I paid all my dues. I'm good. And then social media came. And I was like, and at first I was like, I'm not doing this. I'm not. And then everybody was like, you have to do it. And then I was like, but how I don't know how to do this. It's hard.
Who's everybody? Like your agent or it was more of just your peers?
My peers.
Okay.
So anyway, so one day I was like, God, if I could just find somebody that could help me, because I don't want to be doing all of this. I'll have no life. My thing is like, I'll have no life, and I want to have a life.
Same, off of all of this.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Jessica Tuning, which is the owner of Extracurricular, she used to be my sponsorship agent at Magnet. So I already had a relationship with her, and she had left Magnet. And when she left Magnet, I was really sad because we had a great connection and great relationship. And then I was talking to somebody in a party, and they're like, oh, she's doing Mary Phillips' social media. I'm like, Jessica? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, I'm going to call her like when I leave this place. And I did. And she didn't want to take me on because she thought I was too late for the party. I was older, and I was late. And
what year was this that she thought that it was late?
This was probably like 5 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
And she felt like that was too late? I feel like that was right on time, especially for artists. But where she was at, she said, hold on.
Well, yes and no, because also like I'm older.
Yeah.
You know, so it was like, how am I gonna market? How am I gonna market you?
Oh, I see.
You know, like how are you gonna?
I don't think about that though. It's interesting. I mean, I guess it's not my job to think about that, but in my mind, I'm like, I think there's an audience for everybody.
There is.
Right?
But I guess at that time, you know, that's how she felt.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, no, you're right. Jessica, that's how you felt. Okay, we accept
that's how she felt.
Yeah, so and she told you.
Yeah, she's like, well, she didn't tell me exactly like that, but
Yeah.
she was like, I just don't think that she was clear on how she could help me or how she could guide me to become, you know, like a presence on social media.
Okay.
So, I mean, a lot of people on Instagram were like, you know, your followers were based on your clients, you know? So I did have very good clients, but at the same time, you know, I just didn't feel like I had the variety that other makeup artists had, you know, of whom they were working with, because I have very loyal clients. And like I said, I didn't have time to really get other new clients. So most of my work comes from my established clients. And there's like a handful of them. So it's not like I have 20, you know? So anyway, so she manicured me to be the person I am on Instagram today. Because she was like, you know what? You're as good as your clients. Imagine that tomorrow you have 0 clients. What's going to be your face value? None. So we're going to make you, you are going to be the star of your Instagram. We're going to make people fall in love with you because you have what it takes, Carola. You have an amazing personality. You're funny. And I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to do that. I don't know how, no. And for a whole year, I swear, every time she would put the camera in front of me or me talking to the camera, I would petrify. It wasn't like, I couldn't do it, you know, but practice makes perfect, right? So for a whole year, she's like, no, Carola, this is not you. I want the real you. I'm like, but I don't know how to do it. And she's like, yes, you do. It's like, okay, so what do I have to do? Hide cameras so you can be yourself? So I worked on it. But she always said, I want you to be you. I want for people to fall in love with you, with the Carola that I know. And I want you to be yourself. So whatever you do, I want to get your essence as a person. And after a year, I was able to be myself. And now I am myself.
Oh, 100%. I love your videos.
And I'm
like,
real.
Hey, everybody, we're trying this today. And it's like, and even the way you cut and edit.
Well, she's the master at
that. Yeah.
She's the master at editing.
Incredible.
You know, but she's made me who I am today.
She made you the star.
She made me, like, I don't know if I'm a star.
You are.
But she made me believe in myself that I could do it and to be myself. And if people liked it, great. And if they didn't, who cares? Because I didn't want to I can't pretend. And I do get a lot of people saying like that they love it and they think I'm funny. I don't think I'm that funny.
You are very funny.
But I'm being myself.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful to her for pushing me to do that.
Yeah.
you know?
What do you think the new wave is in terms of social media right now? Because now, 5 years ago, you might have even, I think some artists might have even said, still no. Now, I mean, it's almost like, it's why I wanted to create this conversation with you in this podcast, because artists you have to be a developed brand. People have to know who you are now. It's almost like clients want to know what your personality is before they even book you. They're like looking on your page to see how you are. It's true. That's your
portfolio now.
You know?
And you know what's so funny? That, for instance, I have like 32.6 thousand followers, which I don't think is a lot. I mean, it is a lot of people, but compared to other people that have over 100, some people have 1 million, like 600,000, you know. And the one thing that I can tell you, it's not about the number of followers that you have. It's about you. It's about your content. Because I've gotten offers from companies that I would have never thought they would approach me. But they approach me because of my content and because that's the person that they want to represent their brand. It's not about the number of followers that I have. It's about my content, my personality, what I bring to the table. And to me, that has been very surprising, you know, that it actually, her advice actually worked.
Yeah.
You know, and she's like, we have to do TikTok.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, Carola, you would be so good on TikTok. Like, no. You would be so good on TikTok.
But she's like, Carola, this is your jam.
Yes, it is.
This is your jam.
Totally.
And you're going to do so well.
Yeah.
So now I'm in the process of opening my TikTok account.
You're going to blow up on TikTok.
And
you're going to be like, guys, I don't even need this other business. I'm going to just be a social media star. And I'm going to be like, I know her.
You think?
Totally.
I don't know.
Because you know what it is about TikTok that's different is that it's focused on you being yourself. And it's very like, you're in the car. You know what I mean? Like you're in the car and you're just like talking, or you don't have to have on a full face of makeup. You can be yourself. And you're so yourself that, you know, it's just, you know, and you're opinionated. That's great.
Exactly. But oh my God, you know that, that post that I did about, I don't know, Puerto Rico when we were going through the hurricane that I was there. So I did a post on not donating money to the government.
Oh, yeah. I saw that. And I was like, and you were like, don't send money here.
Don't send money to the government. Send it to this other organization.
Yeah.
You know, local organization, community organizations. Well, you know that I got somebody to that DM me, telling me that in this moment that we needed to have solidarity, not separating, like, you know, that this is not the government that used to be there for Maria. And I'm like, well, it sure feels this was a category 1.
Yeah.
Hurricane, and look at the damage that
I don't even remember. Was all the power out for as many days as it was for this one? For this most?
Oh no! For Maria, there were people like that didn't have power for a year or 6 months.
That's wild.
No, wild. So that was a category 5. This was a category 1, and we were without power for a week. I got somebody to tell me that I shouldn't be talking and posting those things.
Oh, right. Okay.
You know, because it was like, that was not the government that was there before, that they were different, you know, and I'm like, whatever. You know what?
Yeah.
Don't ever write me again. This is my platform and I can do whatever I want
here. Yeah.
Because I have freedom of speech.
Yeah.
You know? So, and surprisingly enough, that video reached 76,000 people.
Really?
It did.
Wow.
I was like, wow. I'm like, I hope that they all donate money. You know, but, you know, like I said, it doesn't matter. It really, like, you can have 30,000, 50, 60, you know, your outreach can vary.
Yeah.
You know?
How do you think you got to the place where you were able to be the person you are on camera now versus when you said you had that year? So you sent her the video and she was like, that's not it.
No, she would be.
Did she give you notes?
Well, she sometimes was with me. At the beginning, she spent a lot of time with me.
Oh, in person?
In person,
That's incredible.
So she would come and film me. And this is my personality. Like, this is how I am with everybody.
Yeah.
You know, like, I'm with you, you know. But I would freeze. And then it was like, I would get in my head. And now I don't get in my head. Now I'm like, okay. I don't know. Something switched. Something switched. One day I woke up.
You unlocked.
And I unlocked.
Yes.
And that was that.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, okay, then I can be myself.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't feel intimidated anymore by the camera or the video. Like, I don't, something, yeah, something switched.
What characteristics do you look for to hire someone to work with you?
I want them to be efficient and responsible, that they communicate, and that they are hardworking, because I'm a hardworking person and I expect the same from you, especially if I'm paying you or if I'm giving you a percentage. You know, we have to be on the same page. I don't like lazy. And when I go, you have to represent wherever I take. If you're my assistant, you have to be a representation of myself. So you have to know how to represent me. And I expect you to dress accordingly to the job, you know, to the occasion. I don't want you to be wearing like super short shorts and cleavage. You know, that's not that. I want you to dress appropriately. Your personality has a lot to do with, you know, if I'm going to hire you, if I want to be around you, you have to be able to read the room, because a lot of them don't, and it has happened to me. Be respectful, and just know your place. You know your place as well, and that I have a connection with them. You know, and that I want them to be optimistic and joyful and have a good personality, be positive. I don't like complainers.
I don't either.
And
it's so miserable to be around.
Yeah, I don't want to be. I don't want to be around somebody I feel is that they're miserable.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't like it, then find yourself another job.
Yeah.
You know, don't be here. And that they are able to communicate with me. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm always asking. You know, I'm always. You know, it doesn't matter who you are. I'm very respectful of the person, and I treat them equally.
Yeah.
You know, I can't stand people that treat their assistants like they're a piece of shit.
Oh my gosh.
You know, I can't.
Me neither. Even clients, I won't work with clients if I see them talk to their assistants wild. I'm like,
me neither.
No, I can't be around this energy.
Or how they treat me.
That too.
No. Just because you're, I don't know, a public person doesn't mean that I'm inferior to you.
Yeah.
You know, all my clients treat me equally with love and respect and consideration, and that's the people I want to work with.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Bye. I don't have time for that. And I don't want to be ever in a place where I feel undervalued.
Yeah.
Or that, undervalued. Or
investments. I want to talk to you about this because I think that we have to long-term plan differently as artists, especially freelance artists.
I feel like you need to find a good accountant. And when I say that, I wanted somebody who guided me. Because I feel like I was talking to my boyfriend's daughter the other day about this. I'm like, why can't you go to school and they tell you how to take care of your finances or how to invest? Like, why are we taking calculus? Like, who uses calculus in their life? Nobody. And I'm like, why can't they teach us how to meditate? You know, or tools. Give us tools that are going to help us navigate life.
Facts.
You know, especially with stress. Your finances. I didn't have any school on that. And my mom was not the best example either. So I had to figure it out on my own. And I was able to find a great accountant. And she was able to be like, okay, you make this amount of money. You need to open a corporation. So let's open a corporation. I'm like, but why? And she was, because it's going to save you money in taxes. I'm like, okay, so let's have a credit card for your company and keep it separate, personal and company. Everything, your supplies, your this, your that, everything that is work related, your gas, you put it on your business account. Anything that is personal, here. Let's open your 401k. Let's do SEP IRA. So every year, money goes into that. You need to find somebody that guides you on how to navigate your finances and do it right. She always told me, don't use your ATMs. They get stolen all the time. You can't, you have 24 hours to call your bank to tell them that you had fraud or like that you're, that you don't know where your card is. A credit card, you have 30 days. So those little things were like, always use your credit. Don't use your ATMs. Those numbers get stolen all the time, especially at gas stations. you know? So because of the amount, because you would probably, if it happens with your ATM, you're not going to know until you don't see the money there. It's going to be probably too late to report it. I think things have changed now. And I think like if it happens, you have more of a leadway now with things like that, charges, fraudulent charges. But at that point, you know, she was like, use your credit cards. And that's always your receipt. So I barely have cash and I don't use my ATMs. I only use unless I withdraw money from my bank. And then I always wanted to, this is where dreams come true again. I always envisioned myself. I wanted to wake up with a beach, with a view to the beach. That has always been, I've always been dreaming about that. And I envision it. And I envision the view. I mean, I get goosebumps from thinking about it. I mean, I almost even want to cry because I remember so clearly in my head, just visualizing how I wanted to wake up, the view that I wanted to have, and how I wanted to feel in that space. And I had a psychic tell me that. She goes, I see you having a property by the beach, and I see you walking on the beach. And it's a 2-bedroom. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be rich. I'm going to live in Malibu.
That's right.
I'm like, wow. I'm in California.
Look at my life.
Look at my life. I'm in California and I'm going to live by the beach and I'm going to have the ocean view. Wow. I'm going to be like, I'm going to be so rich. That was my thought. I was like, great. You know, but little did I know that it wasn't in California. It was in Puerto Rico. So guess what? I did get my apartment, my 2-bedroom apartment, but it was in Puerto Rico.
I love that.
And I wake up to the beach. So yeah, I don't have it here, but I did find my little house in Venice because I wanted to change. In COVID, I realized that I always worked to live by the beach. Like I'm going to end my life. I know how I want to end. I know how I want to retire.
Yeah.
And I see it. Just like I saw that apartment, I see it. And I want to be by the beach. So when COVID happened, I was like, what am I doing here? Like, why am I in the city? I hate this city. Like, I don't want to be here anymore. What am I waiting for? Why can't I live the life that I want right now? I have a beach here. So why can't I start my beach lifestyle now? Because I don't know what's going to happen to me. And during COVID, I started looking for an apartment. And I couldn't find it. And I was like, because the apartments there are smaller.
Yeah.
Everything is smaller there.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't fit here. And then super expensive, super expensive. So I gave up. I was like, you know what? Maybe I should invest. Maybe I should save this money and invest in another property because that's my future, And then I was at a party and I'm sitting with this girl, a friend of mine that I had not seen in ages. And she had already had a baby. And she's like, oh, I bought this property in Santa Barbara and I'm looking for somebody to take over my lease, in Venice. I'm like, really? Can you show me your house?
Yeah.
And she showed it to me. And guess what? That was my house.
Yeah.
And I found it after I had given up. I went to this party and I sat right next to the right person. Yeah. And it just happens that was the situation. And now I live by the beach and I'm living my beach lifestyle.
That's cool.
That I've always envisioned that I was going to, when I retire. No. Not when I retire. Now is the time to live how you want to live,
Yeah.
So then I was able to buy the property in Puerto Rico, and then I created my little piece of heaven. So that's how I go. I want to buy another property. Like I would love to have 3 properties by the time that I'm 60.
I love that.
That's my goal.
Yeah.
To have 3 properties. I'm in the process now of looking to buy another one. I would love to buy a property here in California, but it's very expensive. And I would have to just be saving money for the next 5 years and not like
living your life.
Living my life.
Yeah.
And for me, it's more important to live my life. Yeah. So I'll make my investments in other places. I'm not saying that it cannot happen here, but for now, I'm doing it in my home, my island.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have a lot of family there too?
I have my mother, my sisters, my nephews there. Yeah.
Okay.
I have some friends.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, I mean, it's like another home.
And I love it.
Yeah.
I love being Puerto Rican. I love my people. I love my culture. I love the spice. I had an amazing upbringing, and people there are very genuine, and they're always want people to have a good time, and they'll take care of you, and they're like super, like, you know, they'll just embrace you in their culture, you know, and it's joyous, it's festive, you know, and I'm very grateful that I come from there, and that I had the upbringing that I had, and I have the education that my mom gave me, and the groundness that she taught me, and the values. Because Latin people are very family oriented. You know, it's all about our family, our friends, you know, like that bond.
Yeah.
So I'm very thankful that I have that, and that I have all the friends that I have, because we're a family.
Yeah.
We all have each other's back. And I think that's the most important thing to look in a friend.
I agree. Thank you for coming. That way I can incorporate some of my favorites. And if somebody came to mind while you were listening to this episode, please hit the share button and invite them into the conversation. As always, show notes are available at ittakesavillagepod.com. That's pod.com. You can follow me at Delina Medhin. That's DeLinaMedhin. Lastly, I just want to say thank you for being patient with me. This is an episode that I'm so excited to release. Being able to talk to people about their village, being able to connect with you deeply about your own village is something that I hope will help take your business to the next level. And that's really what this whole thing is about. It's what's driving me to continue to have these conversations. Hopefully these conversations are resonating with you the way they're resonating with me. I'm having so many aha moments during this show, and I just want to say thank you. I want to say thank you for being here. Thank you for the reviews. Thank you for the subscribes, the likes, the comments, but even just listening. Just listening means so much to me. And with that, I'll see you in the next episode.